Welcome to the Daily AI News Digest. I'm your host, and today we're bringing you an explainer of the market realities as of June 25th, 2026. This broadcast is sponsored by bestai.org. Let's cut right through the industry noise and look strictly at the macro financial movements and structural shifts that are defying the tech sector today. Here is how today's explainer breaks down. First, we'll cover the biggest moves today. Then, we'll look at product and model realities, followed by regulation and policy signals. We'll wrap up with the analyst take, and finally, our outro and next steps. Starting with Section 1, the biggest moves today. The number anchoring the semiconductor sector right now is $80 billion. You see, NVIDIA's board has officially authorized an $80 billion share repurchase program. This is a highly significant capital return strategy, and it's particularly notable because it's arriving right in the middle of a massive, decade-long AI infrastructure build-out cycle. When we look at the market reactions to recent corporate announcements, there's a very clear pattern emerging regarding investor expectations. Take NVIDIA, for example. They paired that $80 billion buyback with a 25-fold dividend increase, jumping from 1 cent to 25 cents per share. And this is amidst 85% year-over-year revenue growth. As a result, the stock is currently consolidating post-earnings near its previous highs. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Apple. They recently presented an ambitious AI overhaul at WWDC 26. But because management failed to provide a firm, hard launch date for their new Siri agent, the stock actually slipped roughly 2%, landing near $292. The cold reality here, the market is actively rewarding concrete execution and punishing ambiguous timelines. Moving on to Section 2, product and model realities. We're seeing a tangible shift in engineering focus, which is visible in the highly specific leak cycles surrounding OpenAI's unannounced GPT-5.6 Pro model. Now, while OpenAI hasn't officially confirmed this release, internal routing logs and reporting strongly point to a structural upgrade. The leaked specifications suggest the underlying reasoning effort budget is increasing from 768 to 960, along with a context window expanding to 1.5 million tokens. But perhaps more importantly, the data points to direct Playwright browser automation hooks. If accurate, this tells us there's a deliberate focus on longer horizon planning and agentic workflows, rather than just generating faster text responses. Simultaneously, Mistral AI has been busy deploying several new enterprise tools. First up is OCR4. This moves well beyond simple text extraction by returning structured block classifications, bounding boxes, and inline confidence scores, which is an absolutely critical requirement for reliable enterprise data pipelines. They've also introduced the Vibe agent. This consolidates a work mode for productivity tasks and a code mode for remote coding sessions. Most notably, they launched Physics AI. By integrating their recent MEAI acquisition, Mistral is deploying new foundation models that are explicitly designed to accelerate simulation and optimization loops in industrial engineering and manufacturing. Next, Section 3, Regulation, Policy, and Business Signals. We were given a very clear demonstration of the fragility of cloud-based model access this month. Let's look at the timeline. On June 9th, Anthropic launched Fable 5 and Mythos 5. With Fable 5 posting a very solid 80.3% on the SWE Bench Pro coding benchmark. But exactly 4 days later, on June 12th, the U.S. Commerce Department issued an export control directive. They cited national security concerns and ordered a halt to foreign national access. Because real-time nationality verification at the API layer just isn't technically feasible right now, Anthropic was forced to suspend both models entirely. So as of today, they remain offline globally, while their older models, like Opus 4.8, remain available. Meanwhile, over in Europe, the European Union is busy recalibrating its regulatory timeline. The European Parliament has formally voted to delay key EU AI Act compliance deadlines, mainly due to the slow development of harmonized technical standards. So, for high-risk AI systems deployed in sectors like employment, education, and law enforcement, that compliance deadline has actually been pushed back 16 months to December 2027. And AI used in regulated physical products, like machinery, now has until August 2028. However, it's worth noting that bans on prohibited systems, specifically the generation of child sexual abuse material and non-consensual intimate imagery, will still rapidly take effect this coming December. This brings us to Section 4, the analyst's take and why this matters now. The API management firm Gravite recently stated something that really hits the nail on the head. They said, build for volatility, because it is the steady state now. And frankly, that is the primary takeaway from the Anthropic suspension. The lesson for us isn't whether the government order was justified. The cold business reality is that access to frontier models is highly conditional, and those conditions can change in a single afternoon for reasons entirely outside of your control. Because of this, enterprise IT decision makers really need to treat this volatility as the new operational standard. You must implement robust failover protocols immediately. First, ensure that your systems log the specific model ID on every single API call so you can properly trace your dependencies. Second, you have to maintain at least one non-Anthropic backup provider. And most importantly, establish hard failover architectures. This means if your primary model goes offline, your traffic is automatically routed to an established fallback like Claude Opus 4.8 or Sonnet 4.6 without breaking your production systems. Furthermore, this industry shift toward executable agents requires a fundamental security reassessment. As models gain capabilities like the Playwright browser automation rumored in GPT-5.6 Pro, security teams have to recognize a rather harsh reality. A highly capable agent practically inherits the user's access. The difference between a simple, annoying AI hallucination and an automated, executed action inside your corporate environment is the line between a bad answer and a severe security incident. So, implementing strict access controls, session isolation, domain restrictions, and immutable audit logs is absolutely no longer optional. It is a baseline business necessity. Finally, Section 5, our outro and next steps. So, as you review your deployment strategies this week, I'll leave you with this question. Is your enterprise architecture truly built to withstand sudden model suspensions and the incoming realities of autonomous agents? Thank you for tuning in to the Daily AI News Digest Explainer. We remind you to visit our sponsor, bestai.org, to ensure your infrastructure is prepared for whatever the market dictates next.